Hey guys, how's it going? I hope everyone is doing okay so far. Happy birthday, first of all, to all the Tauruses out there. If you've already had your birthday in the last day or so, or if your birthday hasn't come up, happy birthday to all the Tauruses out there. All right. So this is going to be a general reading for Earth sign Taurus, and we're going to get into the cards in just a minute. I pulled everything ahead of time for you here, but I wanted to talk about a few things, and then we'll do a little sound bell and then get started. But one of the things is that I do take one picture at the end of all the cards in case you want to see it later up close in more detail. So to do that, all you have to do after the live is done is click in the description box below and follow the instructions there. It'll just take you to my Facebook page where the picture will be in case you want to see the picture, but you don't have to, of course. All right, what else? Yes, so this reading is for everybody, right? If you're a sun sign Taurus, a moon sign, rising sign Taurus, if you have your Venus in Taurus, if you have your North Node in Taurus, if you have Taurus basically anywhere in your chart, as we all do have it somewhere, there may be a message for you in this reading. So all are welcome, right? And what else? We wanted to basically talk about this time period for the reading. It is timeless, right? But we're going to talk about it in terms of, from about April 20th, so yesterday or so, depending on when you're watching this, right? And then going till about May 20th. But when I say that it's timeless, what I mean by that is that for some people, it could resonate, as an example, 6 months in the past or 6 months in the future. It could be 2 months, it could be 2 days in the future, in the past, and vice versa. Okay, so that's why it is timeless. So whenever you see this message, hopefully there is something for you in this reading. What else did I want to say? Yes, if you don't know what your other placements are already, you can pretty much get a pretty detailed birth chart online for free. Even if, let's say, you don't know your exact birth time, you can still find out where your Venus is, where your Saturn is in, as an example. So I always encourage everyone to do that if you haven't already. But yeah, that's pretty much it that I can think of offhand. So let's go ahead and do a little sound bell here for some grounding and healing, and then we'll get into your reading here, dear Taurus. All right, so just be aware sometimes it does get a little bit loud if you're sensitive or listening with headphones. And if you want to, you can take a deep breath in and out whenever, right? Just breathe normally, or you can just listen as well. All right. All right, guys. So I'm going to put this over here just because we got lots of stuff on the table here already. Okay, let's see here. And I'm going to have just a little bit of music in the background, mainly for the dogs. So we'll just put that over there. All right, so let's talk about real quickly the placements of your cards as far as what each row may mean for you. Okay, so when we're talking about this month of time period, we're going to say that this first row could be energy around, and could is really general, right? Since it's a reading for more than one person, but it could be energy around April 20th to about, I forgot to bring up my calendar. Hold on, let's see. Calendar. Yes. So we'll just say April 20th to about April 30th. Yeah, that should be good. So the April 20th through the 30th would be the first row going across here. And then the second row could be energy right from about May 1st through about, let's say, um, the 11th or so. Well, no, let's say May 1st through the 13th. It could be the 11th, it could be the 13th, right? We're just doing a general, okay? And then the last row here would be energy, let's say around May 13th through May 20th, okay? So I'm trying to give about a week or so to each row, but it can be a little bit, it's not exact, all right? So the next 3 weeks or so, right? The other thing to note, and if you've seen me before, you kind of already know the deal, or if you watch other tarot readers, maybe you've heard this before. But basically, if you get into this reading and you find that maybe it's not necessarily about you, it could be about the person you're dealing with or multiple people you're dealing with, or it could be about the general astrology of this time period or the collective unconscious, or it's not just you reading at all, right? And that's okay too. So that's why I always encourage in the beginning for you to check out your other placements, because depending on what's going on in your life, you may resonate more with your sun sign, your rising sign, or even your moon sign, and it can change throughout your life, again, depending on what's going on. So anyway, let's go ahead and get in this reading. So I will go ahead and call out the cards in order here in the center, and then we'll work our way outwards to the tarot confirmation cards at the end, or towards the end, that I use another deck because I'm using 2 different decks. And then at the very end, we have a couple oracle cards as well. So what we have is, excuse me, excuse me, the allergies are strong, the pollen. Anyway, we have the 8 of Staves, also known as the 8 of Wands, in the reverse position here. We have the 7 of Swords in the reverse position, the Prince of Swords in the right side up position, the Death card in the right side up position, the Ace of Sacred Circles in the right side up position, also known as Ace of Pentacles right side up, the 10 of Sacred Circles or 10 of Pentacles right side up. We have the Empress in the reverse. We have the Princess of Sacred Circles or Princess of Pentacles right side up. We have the 8 of Swords in the right side up position. And normally I've been doing 9 cards in the center, but because it's your birthday season, I guess, Taurus, you've got an additional 10th card. So your last one here is the 3 of Swords in the reverse position. So real quickly too, I did count, I believe, 4 major arcanas for your reading. So not too many, but not too few, right? So it's not a competition. When you have a lot of major arcanas, it speaks of for some people, a significant amount of change. But again, it will be either in your past or more in your future, or a little bit of both, right? But let's go ahead and just talk about those 4 majors real quickly. So we do have the Moon card up here. We have, and that's Pisces energy. We have the Death card, which is Scorpio energy. We have the Empress, which is Libra energy. And then we also have the High Priestess, which could be Pisces and Scorpio again. So why do we mention the signs here real quickly as far as the majors, as you could be dealing with a Pisces, Scorpio, or even Libra, or you could have a lot of placements heavily in your chart, in your individual birth chart or their birth chart or multiple people's chart, or it could definitely have something to do with astrology. We have a lot of things going on. So currently in Pisces right now, a lot of Neptune energy. We just had, I think we're still in the Scorpio moon. Let me check my little app thing here. Where did you go? Here we go. So yeah, I believe, oh no, we're in Capricorn now. Just kidding. Well, we just had a Scorpio moon like a day or so ago. So anyway, like I was saying, the majors could correspond to, again, maybe a person or an energy or astrology that's going on right now, or it means nothing to you at all. But we'll just go ahead and leave that aside for now, okay? But when we talk about, especially like the first row here, this could be energy from the recent past that's trickling into your reading, right? And the recent past, oh, I forgot to set my timer. The recent past will be different for everybody, right? So again, it could be a couple of days ago, it could be a couple hours, it could be a couple of months, couple of years, etc. Only take what resonates for you and how it might apply. So when we start off with your first card here, Taurus, with this Eight of Staves or Eight of Wands in the reverse position, this could be basically telling us that in the recent past or even currently where we are now, right, there could have been some type of communication that wasn't fully understood or didn't come through at all or wasn't well received, or it did the opposite of what possibly somebody wanted to do, which would be to surprise someone, whether it's a good surprise or bad surprise, right? But because the Eight of Spades, or staves, the Eight of Staves came out in the reverse position. It's almost like the opposite of the flight or fight mode that you see the birds here. They're responding normally, really shocked that the wands are coming in, right? So that's the hunters looking for something to eat, let's say, as an example. But it's in the reverse. So it could be that this communication that somebody wanted to give or you wanted to give, or it could be a communication or opportunity from the universe, let's say. It didn't come at all, or it wasn't well understood, or the timing was off. That's the big thing too. When the Eight of Staves or Eight of Wands is in the reverse position, it could be that the timing was off here for something. So we'll know a little bit more in a minute as we're going to talk about right now, possibly why this card came up as your first card. We're going to talk about what's in the top and the bottom of your other deck here, okay, in relation to that Eight of Wands in reverse. So when we talk about what's in the top and the bottom of each deck, this is energy from the recent past. Again, could be a couple days ago, months, years, etc. All right, but what we have is the Moon card in the right side up position, and then we have the King of Wands in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck here, okay? So when we put it together with that, again, that Eight of Staves or Eight of Wands in reverse, it's almost like if in the recent past there was not enough light or illuminance, right, of information in general around some type of communication, around a person, around an energy, whatever it is for you, right? That perhaps that's why it's still not being understood, or the timing is off, or somebody's response is off. Maybe somebody wanted to, excuse me, surprise somebody and they didn't, okay? Or like as an example, right, with surprising the birds here. But when that Moon card shows up, it seems like we talk about that Pisces energy here too, even though it's very creative and dreamlike and really great for artists. When we talk about the more positive side of the Moon card, but we also talk about the more shadow side, or more what's the word to say? The more commonly understood version of what the Moon card indicates, right, would be a lot of emotions blocking some type of information or logical way of understanding something, right? So you see all this water behind the woman in the Moon card here. So the water is just like the cups in the tarot are emotions, okay? So there's like a lot of emotional stuff going on here in the recent past in some way, where it's blocking a little bit of some type of enlightenment or getting more information or understanding something, right? But when you put it together with the King of Wands, what does he have like right behind him here? He has the sunflower. I don't know if you can see it in the card, okay? So the sunflower is seen in most tarot decks in the Sun card, right? So it's also seen in the Queen of Wands too. So it's all about illumination. It's about renewal. It's about hope, creativity, passion, all that stuff. But it's when we think of the sunflower and the regeneration, right, where depending on where you are in the world right now, it's springtime here in the US, or that's what they say anyway. Sometimes it feels like spring, but anyway, excuse me. This sunflower represents those spiritual enlightenments, downloads, getting more information. So it's almost like this energy is like um, two sides of the same coin here. Okay, so it's like on one hand, there's not enough information about something or the emotions are too high. And then on the other hand, somebody is feeling more grounded, stepping into their power in some way, right? They're a king or a queen, right? I'm not talking about gender, but there is still this energy of being open to. Um, Having different points of view or different information coming in. When we talk about a king or a queen or someone in a position of authority, right, they have to kind of listen, or they're supposed to listen anyway, to a lot of people telling them different things and giving them advice, and then they will make their decision after that, right? We also have this volcano in the background, so it's like a lot of fiery Aries, Leo, Sagittarius energy, but also with that fire sign energy, sometimes if things are kept inside too long, emotions are kept inside too long, then sometimes they will kind of explode and come out, right, with that volcano in the background, if you can see it there with the glare. Okay, so again, this is just kind of picking up on some recent past energy here and maybe why this, your first card, the Eight of Wands, is in the reverse position. Okay, so it could also even be if we look at just these two cards alone here, a fire sign dealing with a water sign, or not even just that basic, but when we talk about the elements, water and fire. Okay, so how do they come together? How are they different? All of that. All right, now we're going forward here though. Excuse me. I also want to talk about your second card in relation to the moon and this King of Wands as well. So your second card here is the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. Okay. And now when we talk about the second card, this could be, for some, it's not exact, of course, energy that's felt more, let's say, more towards the end of this weekend, or maybe you're already, for some of you guys, already in this energy, okay, of the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. But generally, I would say that it is a good card to have in that position. One second. Guys, I have to tell you, I was walking my dogs today, and I still have my black pants on, and we're walking for a little bit, and I look down for something, and my pants are covered in green pollen. Okay, so it's like, if you see me coughing, and I've been saying this for a long time if you've seen me before, but it was like so gross. I had to like shake my pants out and get all this pollen out. So anyway, back to you. Taurus is like, it's about me. What is it? All right. So here we have the Seven of Swords in the reverse position. This is about finally letting burdens go, letting go of not only possible burdens, right? If this could be you yourself, another person you're dealing with, multiple people, general environment situation, but also letting go of if there was any like gossiping in the past, or people questioning whether you deserve something in the past, or are you questioning someone else, do they deserve something like that. Okay, but when this card is right side up, you see, just so you can see for reference, the Japanese guy holding all of these swords and people kind of whispering in the background. So it's letting go of defenses when it's now reversed, right? So why does he need seven swords? If he was to be attacked or use the sword as a tool or a weapon, he really only needs one, right? So here it's about putting those swords down and coming more into balance, right? So the swords in the tarot represent our intellect, our logical mind, right? So that kind of leads naturally into your third card, which is the Prince of Swords, and now it's right side up. So you can see the movement and even just these two cards alone, okay? So really nice to see. And when you see this Prince of Swords, he's a young guy, right? He's not a king yet, but he is open to learning. And he has almost his eyes closed, or almost all the way closed here in this card, right? He's meditating. He's using his emotions in a positive way. He's trying to balance the water, the emotions behind him, with the intellect the sword, the logical mind held up in the air, okay? And he is moving forward. So this is for momentum and progress, whereas, well, actually both of them are. In my mind, I see the Seven of Swords in the reverse position also as, for momentum and progress. Not so much the first card you had here, but it's picking up speed and now we're moving forward. Really quickly too, I wanted to talk about just briefly this Seven of Swords with that moon and the King of Wands, but I forgot to do that, and I said I was going to do it. So basically, when you are, or the other person here, Taurus, or general environment, energy, multiple people, start putting some of those defenses down, right? Start to balancing the mental, right? And if it's not defenses or actual burdens, it could be mental burdens, right? Because remember I said the swords and the tarot are the mental. So putting the mental anxiety burden down, overthinking, being too much up in your head, or they vice versa, what have you, right? So the way that this was able to happen was, I feel like that it was more about that King of Wands energy from the recent past, okay? So being, again, more grounded, and having support around you, relying on your support system, whatever that may be, or was for them, or just an energy in general. Sorry, guys. Okay. And so, when you put these together, it kind of shows you that if the Seven of Swords was right side up, it could be more on the moon side, the moon card still. But then when it's reversed, it's coming over more of that King of Wands energy. So again, you can just kind of like see that movement, right? So if the Seven of Swords was right side up, right next to the moon, and you had that gossiping energy, or people are like, how did he win all these swords at the festival, right? He didn't deserve it, let's say, because they didn't see all the information. They didn't have all the light, right? They didn't see the emotional work maybe it took for that person to win whatever that was, if we're talking about it as an example, okay? Because what was I going to say here? It's like the moon card, I forgot to mention earlier, when it's right side up, right? If you've seen me before, then you kind of already know the example I'm going to say, but it's basically like you're staying at a friend's house and they turn off the lights and you see the coat rack, right? And you start to go to sleep, and let's say you wake up in the middle of the night and you're going to the bathroom or whatever, getting up to get some water, and you see the coat rack, but it's at night and you're kind of half asleep and it's dark, and you don't know if the coat rack is a person or a monster or what have you, okay? So that's like kind of the energy of the moon card when it's right side up. So when you just switch on the light, then you're like, oh, it's just the coat rack and my coat and it's all good, right? So the reason why I brought it up again is because it's almost like in the beginning of your reading, again, with that Eight of Staves in the reverse position, somebody didn't have all the information, or multiple people didn't, or the general environments, everybody, right? Because it's like, how can I have a communication with somebody? How can I give an offer or accept an offer, or have some type of communication if I don't have all the information, if they don't have all the information? So anyway, I just wanted to make sure I mentioned that too. But we went from your Prince of Swords, that for momentum and all of this good stuff, mental clarity, working with the emotions, the heart chakra, and your crown chakra, right? Or that's what the person is striving for, the energy is striving for towards the end of this week or weekend, or even, what did I say? I said till the 30th, right? So the end of the month. So not necessarily the end of this week, but more towards the end of the month. Maybe that Prince of Swords energy is going to show up here. Now, moving forward, when we get into your second row here, that's energy I did say from, I'm sorry guys, one second. Oh my gosh, sorry, hold on a second. Okay. I said this was from about May 1st to about May 13th or so, but again, it's general. We go, and I was really happy to see this from that Prince of Swords to now the Death card, okay? And they both have water in the card, okay? And this is really beautiful to see, right? The Death card is not a bad card. It's not talking about literal death, right? We're talking about a metaphor or the death or the dying of some type of energy or philosophy or way of life or viewpoint or what have you, okay? But with the Death card, another example would be when you have you're supposed to do your spring cleaning, right? And cleaning out of your closet of stuff you no longer need. Well, you can't bring in new clothes if there's nowhere to hang them, right? So it's like clearing out the old and making room for the new, whatever that may be. And also trying to find some kind of wisdom around the emotions that can come up with this change, right? It can be a big change or a small change. It can be a good or a bad change, but generally, I would say that life is all about change, right? And so you can either lean into it and go with the tide or fight against it, find what's more easier for you, right? But when I see this here, this Death card, especially in the second row, when we're talking about a new month, I feel like that's very complementary energy and nice to see here for you, especially when we're talking about if you are a sun sign. Taurus, right? It's your birthday season. We're in your birthday season. So it could just be like you getting into some kind of new beginning or phase here around maybe wanting to celebrate, hopefully. And I say that too because your fifth card is the Ace of Sacred Circles. Okay. So aces are about new beginnings. So you have two cards back to back that are talking about newness, right? And this is the same thing as Ace of Pentacles. So it could be about coins, about money, about wealth. But abundance isn't just money and wealth, right? It's whatever you want to manifest in your life. So that could be love, that could be a business, that could be better health, it could be money, it could be all those things, right? But this is really beautiful to see here. And then really small in the background here on the side, there is the buffalo, right? So in this Native American culture, and this deck of cards has Egyptian, it has Japanese, it has Native American, all types of different cultures here. But they obviously, or maybe not so obvious, but they really value the buffalo, right? So this buffalo next to this large drum or this large sacred circle is about courage, right? It's about power. It's about taking up space, right? Providing, right? The Native Americans would hunt the buffalo, but they would only take what they needed. And they would have certain rituals to use every part of the animal and then, obviously do it in a way of gratitude, right? So it can be also all those things going along with this new beginning. And the aces also talk about, let's say, gifts from the universe in some way, or highlighting or further nourishing or strengthening natural gifts that maybe you already have too. So that's another aspect of the aces here. But two cards, kind of back to back that are talking about new beginnings and a new month. So I say that's really cool. But it will, of course, depend on everybody, because it is a general reading. All right. But now going forward, talking about actually, I take it back. All three of your cards in this second row are all about endings and new beginnings. The last one is more about endings. The other ones are about new beginnings. But with endings, there's a new beginning. So it's like they're kind of all coming together here. So here we have the 10 of Pentacles or 10 of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. And what do we also have here in the background of the card is the full moon. So I believe the May full moon is on the 15th. And I said that this row was going to be around May 1st through May 13th. Okay, so it could have something to do with the moon, that possibly this energy of this endings and new beginnings is heightened, just like any emotion on the full moon more. Or could it be referencing a past full moon? It will be different for everybody, but it's just interesting when we do have those elements of the card where the moon is showing, and it might be right around the time when we're going to have a full moon. So I wanted to mention it. But generally, this card is really about abundance in all forms, right? So in tarot, 10 is the highest number. Again, that's why it's an ending and a new beginning. So it's like reaching the highest height of something possible before then, starting something new, or starting a new, what is the way to say it? Starting a new mastery of something, the next stage of something. Okay. Again, it can be health, it can be money, it can be love, it can be whatever, your creative passions, side hustles, whatever here. Okay. But what is really cool in this card in particular too is like the sense of community, right? So you see all these kind of Native American huts are pretty close to each other. They are a part of a community. This could also be, again, kind of a celebratory energy that you also have with the Ace of Sacred Circles too, right? So with this whole row here, it's like endings, new beginnings, celebrations, mastering of talents, leveling up in some way. So lots of beautiful things here, okay? So even when I said that throughout your whole reading, you only have 4 major arcanas, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have a lot of changes, right? Because in some readings, you have 1 major arcana. In some readings, you have 8, right? So it doesn't necessarily mean that there's not going to be still a lot of changes here, okay? So I just wanted to mention that. But it looks pretty good so far in this row. But let's keep going and see what else we have. So here now we're in the 3rd row, which I think I said was energy around May 13th through May 20th or so. Okay, this row here going across. All right. So we start off with this, Libra energy, the Empress in the reverse position. So it's interesting when I said earlier that with the 10s, right, the 10 of Sacred Circles, the 10 of Pentacles, as it's also known, that if it's an ending of one, let's say you're learning, you're taking a class, right, and it's like chapters 0 through, or 1, sorry, not 0, be chapters 1 through 10. Okay, so you've reached the 10th chapter. Now you're going from 11 to 20 or whatever it is, right? So it's like that next set of chapters. Okay, but here with the Empress in the reverse position, it's almost like somebody is asking to be more humble about something because the Empress is in the reverse position. The Empress, normally when she's right side up, is known as the businesswoman of the tarot. She's the CEO, she's the top dog. She's telling people where they need to be focused on, what they need to be doing and working, right? Even though she is, she is very much a queen in her own right, but she is more of, I would say, the energy of the independent energy of doing something at a higher level position of authority without, when we think of the king and queen, they're together, they're a partnership, right? Even if they don't like each other, they're there. She's necessarily doesn't have a partner on the same level as her yet, right? But she's doing it not on her own because she's doing it with her people, but she doesn't have the same necessarily energy of the queen, okay? But when she's in the reverse position here, again, following that 10 of Sacred Circles, it's almost like somebody is like, wait a minute, maybe I'm not at the level I want to be at with something, or maybe the other person I'm working for or working with is not at the level that they should be at, or, you know, it will be different for everybody, but it's also something to do with the emotions, because just like in some of the other cards, right, we have this waterfall behind her. So when it's in reverse, it's almost like somebody's energies here around some type of possible business or partnership, or even health, or it could be lots of different things, right? There's something where there is possibly not enough feminine energy, okay? Because she is, we have the symbol here for the divine feminine energy, but it's not, we're not talking about gender, we're just talking about everybody has masculine and feminine energies inside of them. So it could be, let's say if it's not even a person, but it's a company or something, there is this energy of not being, let's say, nurturing enough. If we're not saying that men aren't nurturing, or divine masculines aren't nurturing, but that's just an example. Or let's say in general, right, somebody isn't planning enough for the future in some type of compassionate way, right? Because when she's right side up in this deck, not in all decks, but she's pregnant, right? So that's like the metaphor for planting the seeds for the future, but it's in reverse. So it could be that somebody's expectations around all of these changes needs to be adjusted in some way, because you know, they again go from the 10 of sacred circles to the Empress in reverse. So it could just be about being humble about something and saying, okay, maybe we do need to revisit something, rework something, plan more efficiently for the future, or incorporate something with this feminine energy, this compassionate energy. But you know, I would say too that the other thing about the Empress is that when she is right side up, she's channeling her emotions, the water in the background, to be an asset, but she's also balancing it with her logical mind, right? Her heart and her crown chakra. So here, when it's in reverse, maybe it's also just as simple as somebody is not using their emotions in a more positive way, excuse me, to balance out that energy of, again, having the heart chakra and the crown chakra kind of working together to make important decisions as an empress, right? As the businesswoman, the CEO, etc. Okay, but let's keep going because I don't want to focus too much on that one card. Okay, so moving forward, what do we have? And like I said too, anytime we see some reversals, not all reversals, are like an energetic blockage or something we need to work on, right? So the Empress in the reverse position could be considered an energetic blockage, something to work on. But it doesn't last long, because then literally your next card, your 8th card here, is now another young, youthful energy of the Princess of Sacred Circles in the right side up position. Now, on that note, real quickly, I forgot to count how many of each minor arcana you have here in your reading. I know, because we keep saying it, you have a lot of sacred circles here, a lot of pentacles. So I just wanted to count them really quickly. So we've got 1, 2, 3. Is that it? Okay, 3, maybe not that many. Let's count the wands. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 wands. How many swords do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so right now it's tied between the wands and the swords. How many cups do we have? 1, 2, that's it. Okay. So yeah, it would be, why is this important, right? Why is she talking about this? When we talk about the minor arcanas, it can be first, a signifier of another underlying theme of your reading, right? So when we said it was a tie between the pentacles and the wands, the pentacles being the coin, the money, the abundance, and then the wands would be our defenses, right? Our defenses too high, or are our defenses too low? And also when we talk about the wands and defenses, just like the sword, it can be a tool or a weapon, right? You can hit somebody with it, or you can build a house with it, right? And also the other thing about health is also our immune systems is another form of defense, right? If we're talking about matters of health, is my immune system strong enough? Okay, so just something to think about real quickly with as far as when we talk about the minor arcana. But moving forward back to where we were talking about your third pentacle card here, your Princess of Sacred Circles, right side up. So remember, we go for the Empress in reverse to now. Now we also have a pregnant woman right side up. Isn't that interesting? I didn't even think about that before, right? If they're both together, right side up, they're both pregnant, okay? So this one's reversed. Now she's like, okay, I got you. I learned this lesson. You want me to plant seeds for the future? I'm going to do that. You want me to be open to learning new things because I'm a princess and not a queen yet? I'm going to do that. And also, again, have this youthful energy, this abundance, right? So whether that's abundance, money, and wealth, or it's whatever you want to manifest in your life. So this is for momentum and progress going here. And this could be more towards the middle of, what did I say? May 13th through the 20th, right? Let me check. Calendar. Yeah. So it could be, basically that the middle of May that we're seeing possibly that energy show up, but it will be different for everybody. Now moving forward, your ninth card here is that Eight of Swords in the right side up position. So this is a little bit of, an energetic blockage, but it doesn't stay there very long. All readings have them. Everybody has it from time to time, of course. So it's nothing to get down about, and it could just be a reminder to set yourself right again, or the other person, or multiple people, general environment, okay? But when we see this Eight of Swords in the right side up position, this Japanese woman, right, is fanning herself. She's like flustered in her mind, right? She's got all these swords, anxiety, worry, overthinking, being too much up in the head. But she's kind of aware, right, because there's water behind her too, that her emotions could be making this overthinking worse. Okay, so maybe she's like, okay, I see it, but I don't know how to do it yet. So she's still in that state of having a lot of swords energy, air energy, right, being too much up in the head here. So it could be that with all this energy of the previous card of the Princess of Sacred Circles, of abundance, of planting for seeds for the future, right, and being open to learning new things, maybe it's not even like thinking, if you're excited about something for the future, it could start stressing you out, even though, let's say, it's not necessarily like a negative stress, right? You're like, it's still stressful to the mind, to your body, to your soul in some way, even though it's like maybe about something good, okay? So, that's there, and that definitely can show up too. I'm surprised that it didn't show up until your next card here, because you did have a lot of this energy of change, right? Endings, new beginnings, leveling up, leveling down, all that stuff, okay? But like I said, it doesn't last long, because what do we have here right after it? You had that additional 10th card in the center of your reading, and I usually only take 9. The Three of Swords in reverse, and that's how you want to see that card, right? And so it's like, okay, we've got the anxiety, worry, overthinking here about something, And then, in that same coin on the other side, it's like, okay, somebody starts to let that go, or multiple people start to let that go, or an energy starts to let that go, and the environment, okay, astrology here with the Three of Swords in the reverse position. And again, this could be more towards the middle of May or even the end of May for some, right? It could be different for everybody. But it's like, okay, this card in particular is like letting go of pain, of heartache, of a betrayal, of lower vibrational frequencies, or even exhaustion, right? So it's almost like if it was right side up, just so you can see. If you go from the Three of Swords to the Eight of Swords, it's like they're both stressed out, okay? Right? Both too much air energy. And so it's almost like, well, if we stay in the air energy of being stressed out, or the other person is multiple people, general environment situation, and not facing the emotions, the water behind her here, then it's going to, of course, lead to heartache, betrayal, pain, hurt, low vibrational frequencies, or exhaustion if we stay in this one. But thank God here, Taurus, you don't stay there, okay? So that's good to see, right? Of course. Now, real quickly, before we get into your tarot confirmation cards with the other deck, this is where my spirit guides wanted me to talk to you about what's on the top and the bottom of this deck here in relation to your last two cards here in the center, the Eight of Swords and the Three of Swords reversed. So what we have, and this is again energy from the way back past, okay? So it could be further back than the recent past, but again, it will be different for everybody. So it could be a couple of days ago, months, years, hours, minutes, seconds, etc. Okay, but what we have here is the Queen of Staves in the right side up position and the Seven of Cups in the right side up position on the bottom of your deck here, okay? And so when we put it together, even we'll just do it with the Three of Swords, right? Well, what made it possible here for somebody to let go of the mental anxiety, worry, overthinking, betrayal, pain, exhaustion? What made it possible? Somebody was like, I need to step into my power in the past. Maybe this was you yourself here, Taurus, or someone around you helping you, a mentor, a guide, a friend, teacher, what have you, right? So she is standing very comfortably and proud in her own skin. She has the Nile River behind her. She's mastered her emotions in a positive way. She also has her eyes closed, okay, so she feels safe enough to take a moment or a breath to process something, right? If you're out in the wild by yourself, let's say, you're not going to close your eyes in case there's a predator or an enemy. I came together, it was like predator, a predator or an enemy coming together, then you wouldn't have a second, right, to close your eyes. But here she's the Queen of Wands, so of course she can close her eyes. On the other hand, here we have the Seven of Cups. So this is about Dark Night of the Soul energy, right? About every cup, every emotion, just like the water in the tarot behind her in the Nile River, is about emotion. So every emotional way we could take something, or someone else could take something, or emotional choice we make about something is going to have a different outcome or a different flavor, right? So here we see the king talking to Morgana-like figure, trying to figure out which cup he's going to take. So this is about before making a choice about something. So when we put it together, right, with your last card in the center, that Three of Swords in the reverse position, it's like maybe someone's decided, you know what, I don't want to stay in this Dark Night of the Soul energy forever. I don't want to just stay always low vibrational frequencies, being exhausted or hurt or betrayed. I want to just pick a cup. At the end of the day, I got to pick a cup. I got to trust my emotions. Whether it's you yourself here, Taurus, or another person, multiple people, general environment, okay? So then they can hopefully also step into that leadership role, that royalty energy, or just stepping into their own power, okay? So that could be why that card, again, that Three of Swords is in the reverse position, why it was able to happen or make possible was because of this energy from that past. Okay, so that's just a little bit more insight there. Now let's keep going. Now I'm gonna just got really quiet, make sure we have some music. Okay. Let's talk about your tarot confirmation cards. So we'll go ahead and call them out one by one and then go in order here. So your first one is the Two of Cups in the reverse position. Then we have the High Priestess in the right side up position. And then we have the Nine of Wands in the reverse position. And your fourth one is the Ace of Swords in the right side up position. Okay, so when we're talking, I'll put these underneath. We already talked about them. When we're talking about the first two, this is energy from the recent past. When we talk about the last two, this will be energy more from the future current energies or possibilities. Okay, so just keep that in mind as well. So it looks like with this Two of Cups in the reverse position from the recent past, there could have been some type of union that wasn't divinely guided, was not in the higher vibrational frequencies. Somebody was giving too much and somebody was not giving enough. Okay, there was an imbalance of the energies around a union. It could have been a romantic union, a work partnership, a union of with friends or family, or even a union of different parts of yourself, okay, or their selves, right? But something here in the recent past was not balanced, right? And we're going to kind of, talk about why. But when this Two of Cups comes in here, it's confirming all these cards going down this way vertically. So the Two of Cups is going to confirm the Eight of Staves in reverse, the Death card right side up, and the Empress in reverse here. Okay, you can see all that. So this definitely in the first card, right? I would say that if there was that union, there wasn't balanced, right? The emotions were not positive. Somebody was not feeling positive about some type of union here. Then of course, maybe they're not going to want to continue communicating with that person or that energy or their environment, what have you. Of course, it's going to be harder to understand somebody else's or even your own instincts if the union is off, right? Remember that flight or fight mode, right? How are they going to respond from their base level instincts and intuition? So if, again, the union was off in some way, then this definitely makes sense here. Okay, so this is definitely confirming that. But, excuse me, in the second card here with the Death card, it's almost like this Two of Cups was a catalyst, the Two of Cups in reverse. So someone saying, you know what, I'm not going to have my emotions or this union not be equal, not be in the higher vibrational frequency where we bring out the best in each other, whether, again, it's romantic, work, friends or family, or even different parts of yourself, loving your shadow side and your positive side, right? Having them come together and work with each other. So somebody here, or this energy here, made that clear choice, right? Of saying, I'm going to start something new. I'm going to clean out my closet and welcome in some new, fresh energy. And I'm going to try to find the wisdom around that and deal with the emotions in a more beneficial, positive way. Okay. Then when the Empress in reverse comes in here and she's like, okay, again, the union was not balanced, right? Whatever union it was, or multiple unions could even be. So I don't want to plan, I don't want to have this person's baby, right? I say that right because remember she was pregnant in this picture. But I don't want to plan a future around this person or around this energy if there's not an equal balance give and take. If we're not bringing out the best in each other, then I'm not going to do that. Okay, so that definitely confirms it and makes sense here for me. Now moving forward, when we talk about your second confirmation card, the High Priestess in the right side up position. Remember some of the Pisces and Scorpio energy here. And what does she have? She has a little crown or moon in the background. But this card is all about the duality in life, right? So each column here, one is light, one is dark. It's about the knowledge of self, okay? It's about the intuition, secret knowledge of oneself, right? So you can't know anything really until you know yourself first, right? And so when we see this, and this is energy again from the recent past showing up here, and I like to say that the High Priestess is very similar to the Hermit card if you're familiar with tarot, right? So it's all about going within, finding your own answers, trusting your gut reactions to things. So when it comes in here and confirms the Seven of Swords in reverse, the Ace of Sacred Circles right side up, and the Princess of Sacred Circles right side up. Hopefully you can see all of those there. It's just really saying that, yeah, if you want to put some defenses down, or the other person does, or multiple people, general environment situation, then yes, right on the bell there, you can be more abundant, okay, right? You don't necessarily need all of those swords. You can put them down and put them in your shed or whatever and save them for other people or sell them or whatever, right? And so you don't need all of those defenses. You can use your intuition. You can look at those light and dark, positive and negative and everything, and how does that relate to myself? How can I use that knowledge of myself to keep moving forward? And then with the Ace of Sacred Circles, I would say that the High Priestess here would look at the buffalo, right? Remember the little buffalo here in the card here, and be like, I see you, little buffalo, and I respond, right? So I see the power in you, the stepping into your own courage, taking up space, right? Providing food and nutrition and substance for others. I see all of that. I see you being a gift from the divine, from the universe, strengthening your own gifts, having these new beginnings, right? She sees all of that, and they kind of look back at each other and they're like, yes, okay. You can't be successful and abundant and moving forward, having new beginnings, if you don't trust your own intuition and you don't know yourself, right? I mean, that's pretty basic. Now, when this High Priestess comes in here and confirms the Princess of Sacred Circles right side up too, it's like, yes, I know now what I want for the future because I know myself better, right? And so I'm going to make plans and have resources, but still be open to new opinions and ideas about something, right? Because she's not a queen yet, but she's like, okay, I hear you. I'm going to use my own intuition first, and then, sorry, I'm going to turn this down. And then kind of use my own intuition first and then move forward, hearing what you're saying, but at the end of the day, always trusting my own intuition too about what's best for me, right? So again, Taurus, even if this isn't necessarily about you, it could be about the person you're dealing with, a multiple general environment situation, but it is like very, what's the way to say it? Everybody's idea of success, right? What is success is going to be different. Everybody's path to get there is going to also be different and very personal, right? So that's, again, the High Priestess. All right. So moving forward, we're going to talk about your third confirmation card. And now we're in more of that future, current, present energies, possibilities, right? We have the Nine of Wands in the reverse position, and this is how you want to see this card, okay? And so when this shows up here, this is also about letting go of defenses, because before she has all these wands all around her, the defenses. Don't let anyone in. Nobody can hurt me. I'm protected. I'm overly protected, to the point where people are like, girl, chill. Like, why are you so protected? Like, there's no battle happening right now. Okay, as an example. So here in the reverse position, somebody's saying, okay, I only need to take out my wands in that defensive position when it's necessary, when there is a battle. But if there isn't a battle, how is that blocking my abundance if I'm not letting anything or anybody in, right? How am I being my own worst enemy? Okay. How am I showing that I'm vulnerable even when I'm not vulnerable? right? So again, just having that ability to know, like, you don't have to fight every battle is like the famous quote they say, right? So choosing your battles here, okay? So you can put your best foot forward, okay? So when this Nine of Pentacles in the reverse position comes up here, it's going to be confirming the Prince of Swords right side up, the Ten of Sacred Circles right side up, and the Eight of Swords right side up here, okay? So if we look at it just like this, these two, it was very, what would you say, beneficial, complementary, right? The only way that you can get into the energy of the Prince of Swords, of having, again, the logical mind and brain crown chakra working in tandem with the crown, with the heart chakra and the emotions, right, is letting down some of the defenses, right? He still's got the sword there. He's like, if you want to try me, like, we can do it, right? But he doesn't have swords all around him protecting him, overly protective like that would have been, right? So he's still got the sword ready, but he's also like using his emotions to be like, which battles am I fighting? Does it make sense? How do I conserve my energy? All that, okay? So here it's a very complementary energy. Now, when we talk about it with the 10 of Sacred Circles, it's also very complementary, okay? Because it's like, if she didn't put these defenses down, when I say she, it's just the metaphor of the card. It can be she or he or no gender, right? They put the defenses down because they also realized that they had a support system, right? So this girl, okay, she lived in some village. Why does she feel like she had to be the only protection, right? Maybe what we don't see in this card when it's right side up is there's like all these knights protecting the village perimeters, right? Or there's a wall, right? We don't see it. So it's like, girl, rely on your support system. Reach out to the community, not only in bad times, but in good times, because the Ten of Pentacles, remember, could be that celebratory energy, the endings and the new beginnings. Okay, now where were we? Yes, with the Eight of Swords, when the Nine of Pentacles in reverse is confirming that one. They almost look like the same thing if they were both right side up, right? Like surrounding yourself with distractions and unnecessary defenses. Okay, so this one is acting, this Nine of Pentacles in reverse is acting as it wants to be a catalyst, but it's not. It's a reminder here. So it's just saying, hey, right? Hey, girl, from me to you. Let's put some of this stuff down. It's only blocking our abundance in some way, okay? Now with the other one here, because I forgot you had that extra one, here somebody finally took the lesson or the energy and understood it and said, okay, I got you. I'm going to drop all this anxiety, worry, overthinking, low vibrational frequencies, betrayal, whatever, right? I'm going to let that go so then I can be more abundant in whatever it is I want to manifest in my life. So very nice. Now your last confirmation card, and I don't even know what time we're at, because oh yeah, we're at the hour mark, but that's okay. It's all divine timing, right? As they say. So we have your last one here. And this is, again, more future, current, present energies, possibilities. This is another ace, right? You got two aces. This is the Ace of Swords now in the right side up position. So what are the swords? Intellect, mental clarity, being able to cut through illusions, right? But also on top of the reef and the crown, on top of the crown and the sword is a reef, okay? So it's about celebrations again. So this hasn't happened yet. It could happen, right? So it's almost, I'm not going to, normally with this fourth confirmation card, I would confirm the same cards we just did, but I think, it was pretty self-explanatory. So instead of doing that, I would use this card to confirm this card, right? So it's saying, again, if you let those defenses down, right? If you want to work on your health, you want to get more money, you want to get the love, you want to get the business, all that, right? Who doesn't? Then don't be overly defensive. Know when to fight a battle and not to fight a battle. So then you can have the mental clarity. Then you can have also, right? The aces talk about the gifts from the divine, strengthening natural gifts, perhaps, or on a deeper level, right? And also having those celebratory moments, right? Of what you see, which is really interesting. Where did we see it? Oh, over here. Hopefully you can see if I come closer with the glare, but now the sun's down, so maybe it won't be as bad, or maybe it'll be worse. We'll see. There's these little, some people say they're leaves, golden leaves falling down in the card here. Okay. From the top of the sword. And then also in the moon card. What are those? Those are also in the tower card. So if you're familiar with the tarot, basically what they represent, they could be coins. Some people say they're coins or money, but I look at it as illumination. They're parts of the sun. They could be leaves from the sunflower, right? And so here they represent the same thing, though, getting more information and more light. So in the beginning of the reading or the recent way back past or recent past, there wasn't enough light. And then if we tell the whole story we already just told, we come to the end, it's saying that there could be more light in the future, right? So more enlightenment, revelation, spiritual downloads. Now I see everything. Now I'm starting to understand more. So how can I use that mental clarity to be more abundant and manifest whatever it is I want in my life and to have celebrations and new beginnings? Okay. So I feel like it is possible. Okay, Taurus. So not a bad reading for your birthday season at this time. But real quickly before you go, we have to do your oracle cards here too. So your first one, whether you're watching for romantic love or platonic love with friends or family or even self-love or all those things, right? Your love oracle message is heart-to-heart conversations. And it says, honestly discuss your feelings with each other. All right. So I feel like that's pretty self-explanatory in all of the love options, right? Whether it's romantic or work partnership, friends or family, or even self-love, right? You have to communicate your feelings, right? So not being scared of all the different cards that had water, right? The water being the emotions. Where's the other one? Too many to hold, but right? Don't be scared of the water. Don't be scared of the emotions. Communicate. It's okay. All right. Let me just put everything back here. Okay, and then your last card here, oracle card, is from the Rumi or Remy Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. And so he was a 13th century poet, one of my favorites. And so Elena Fairchild, the creator of this oracle deck, partnered with this artist. I keep forgetting the artist's name. Hold on, let me see if where's the artist? Artwork and poetry translations by Rosaluni. I don't know how to pronounce this, but Rosaluni. Okay, anyway, it don't matter. I mean, I try to represent all artists here. What I was trying to say was that she took these poems of Rumi, right, and partnered with this artist to make these beautiful cards. So some of them are pretty abstract and colorful here, but it comes with this little poem that I'm going to read real quickly to just finish out your reading here with. So you got card number 24. What does this say again? I'm having a moment. Hold on, guys. My dyslexia. I can't pronounce this word right now. Okay. It's splendid, not splendid, splendent. I'm like hooked on phonics, y'all. Help me. I can't pronounce sometimes when I'm tired, guys. Pleasant. Okay. Okay. So we're going to say that, well, let's talk about the meaning of the word if we can't pronounce it right now. It would be almost like a resurgence or getting in touch, right? Because it's talking about grace. So it would be, let's figure out another word. Can you guys help me, please? You know what? I'm going to use my phone. There you go. Maybe it'll also tell me how to say it because I feel like I can't pronounce it right now. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hooked on phonics. Okay. For dyslexic people, we're tired. RES. And okay. It won't tell me how to say it, but that's okay. I like clicked on it and you guys can't see. Okay, just whatever, forget it. Okay, attractive, impressive through being richly colorful or okay, they're giving me examples. So splendid, didn't I say splendid in the beginning? I don't know. Magnificent, brilliant, dazzling, glittering, glowing, radiant, gorgeous, translucent, impressive, spectacular, striking, stunning. All right, so awe-inspiring. So splendiferous is another word that can go with this one that I cannot pronounce. So okay, we'll just say it's magnificent, magnificent, impressive, a resurgence, okay, regrowth with getting in touch with grace. Okay. Can we get to the poem here? All right. 1 second, guys. Okay. It's all the way it's supposed to happen. So it says resplendent. There we go. Did I say it right? Resplendent. Okay. Anyway. Resplendent with grace. Greetings from my heart to you who are always with me, hidden inside as the heart. You are the compass of my life. My course is your way, no matter where I go. You exist everywhere and in everything, always watching over us. My soul brightens in the darkness when I speak to your name. Far beyond the body, there is an opening from my heart into yours. Through that opening, I send you secret messages like the moonlight. I polish the mirror of my heart to be your reflection. I make my ear the receiver for the tenderness of your words. You are in the ear, you are in the mind, you are in every burning heart. What am I saying? You are I. This is my way to describe you. Your divine grace clothes me in the robes of sky blue and blood red. As a shimmering galaxy of compassion within the field of which no being is excluded. The darkness of light is illuminated, and all creatures are bathed in the fine, glowing hue of your presence. There is only beauty beheld now, for there is nothing that is not of your artistry, of your divine hand, and graciousness with its grace. Okay. So that's beautiful. So I like that it was talking about the golden hue, the darkness of night is illuminated. So yeah, we were talking about, right, even those cards that had the little golden leaves or rain or parts of the sunflower, right, coming down, the illuminated, right? And so let's see real quickly what it says for the meditation. Okay, so it says if you want to get into more energy of this card, this is your sacred honoring ritual. So it says, Place your hands on your heart, visualize, sense, and intend or feel that you're being bathed in a golden light. It may rise up from the earth or descend from above you, but all around you is golden light. It is before you, behind you, on either side of you, above you, and below you, creating a field of golden energy all around you. It may be safe or it may crackle with electricity. Just be with it, whatever it is. Whatever you can feel it clearly and not seem to be able to imagine anything at all. No matter what happens to appear, no matter what appears to happen or not happen, it is just perfect for you at this time. When you have passed, oh my God, when you have passed several moments connecting with this golden light, finish your honoring ritual with this prayer and say aloud, Rumi, brother of my soul who loves me without condition, bless me with the confidence, trust, and wisdom I need to take my next steps and to accept the grace already bestowed upon me in abundance, that all will continue to be so given as I grow. May I believe in myself just as you believe in me. Through mercy and unconditional love, so be it. All right. And then it says, bow your head in your hands in prayer position. You have finished your sacred honoring ritual. So yeah, I don't read all the stuff that's in here. There's way more on this card. If you want to look it up online, you might be able to find it. So there you go, guys. So yes, Taurus, that is what we have for you at this time. So thank you guys so much as always for your likes, for your shares, for putting up with my silly energy when I can't pronounce words and all that good stuff. So I wish I had an excuse and that I spoke another language, but I really don't. So, but that's okay. I speak my own language. But anyway, you guys take care of yourselves, and we'll probably be picking up with Gemini tomorrow. So I'm going to be going from Taurus right through the rest of the signs through the normal way. So it just seemed easier. Sometimes when we get more in the center of the zodiac, I do it that way. So anyway, you guys are always welcome to come to the other readings as well as you want to too, but whatever makes sense for you guys. So again, if you want to subscribe and you haven't yet, all you have to do is click on the bell icon on the bottom right and make sure that it's blue and active, and it'll just notify you when I put out new readings. So hopefully you got something from this, and I do hope that you have a great birthday to all the Taurus sun signs out there, and I'll see you guys later. All right, take care. Bye.